Welcome to our monthly angel connection, where each month we focus on one angelic force that governs the energy of the month or the zodiac sign associated with it. The purpose is not simply to learn about an angel, but to understand the specific spiritual frequency it represents, so we can consciously connect to that energy and activate it in our daily lives. One of these elevated forces is Angel Chasdiel, whose name translates to mercy of God, and who governs the lunar month of Virgo called Elul. Angel Chasdiel helps us strengthen our sense of worthiness of the Creator's love and reminds us that no matter where we are in our journey, no matter how many mistakes we have made, and no matter how far we think we have fallen, we can always begin again. Every moment is a new opportunity to plant a new seed, make a new choice, and create a new future. This is one of the great gifts of this month of Elul, as we all prepare for Rosh Hashanah, humanity's new year. One of the greatest gifts of Angel Chasdiel is helping us understand the true meaning of repentance, correction, and spiritual renewal, not through guilt, shame, or fear, but through the certainty that transformation is always possible, that the Creator's love is always available to us. Let's talk about redemption and repentance, but as Monica Berg said so beautifully, we're more interested in talking about repair, because those words can be misunderstood. When we think about repenting, we think about repenting for our sins. If we think about redemption, what are we redeeming ourselves from? To be able to actually do those things, this repair has to occur within each person. Where it usually goes wrong is when a person is repenting or seeking forgiveness because they are afraid of what will happen to their soul in a negative way. If I'm forgiven, then all is done. But where is the repair? Where is the transformation that occurs through taking responsibility for the things we have done? For the Kabbalist, it's not about appeasing God, nor is it a prerequisite for having a relationship with God. It is about connecting to the Creator even when we have fallen, no matter where we are. It is about returning to that place of being whole again. There's an ancient Kabbalistic word that is perhaps one of the most powerful, the concept of Tikun, which means correction. Kabbalist Rav Brandwein wrote, "To feel the light of repentance through love, one must adjust himself so he feels whole. The blessed cannot cleave onto the cursed. And if one feels that he is far from being complete, it is mostly at these times that the evil inclination comes to confuse him further and reminds him of all of his shortcomings, his troubles, and his sins, to trick him into a state of sadness." But we know that light cannot rest in a place of sadness. Each one of us comes into this world not perfect, actually with a whole suitcase of ways and processes that we need to transform and change through. One of the most important first steps is what it is called in Kabbalah Tikun, correction. If you ask yourself, what do I need to correct? I don't mean I hurt so-and-so yesterday. That's another category of things. Those are secondary to the core. The core is, what is it about me that I want to make better? Am I somebody who gets angry easily? Am I somebody who gets jealous easily? Am I somebody who is very selfish often? Or am I somebody who is very lazy? Every one of us has different parts of ourselves that we came into this world to correct. And when we say, what can I do? This is who I am. Well, yes, know who you are, but then know that the reason why you're in this world is to maximize the positive parts of yourself and transform the parts of yourself that need to be transformed. It begins with me. How do I make myself even more perfected? How do I first ascertain what those parts of me are? I would literally write a list, and I would recommend get to know yourself. It's important to know, of course, the good stuff. What are my qualities? What are the blessings or gifts that I have? Because those have to be developed as well. Get better at that. One of the gifts of Angel Chasdiel is helping us approach this process with mercy rather than judgment. The purpose is not to focus on what is wrong with us, but to recognize what can be elevated, transformed, and strengthened. What our soul came into this world to repair is not specifically what relates to other people, but what specifically relates to ourselves. How do I become my perfected self? The only way to do that is by focusing on the process of Tikun, which is, again, first, get to know yourself. What are the things that you know are the top 3, top 5 areas that you need to get better at? For example, if a person realizes that they are by nature easy to anger, and that is an area of their Tikun, part of their self-repair. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Book now with me one-to-one session in angel coaching and communication coaching. To learn more, email or DM me. Enjoy the video. Of course, it also manifests in how they interact with other people, but that is secondary. The reason why I want to work on becoming less of an angry person is not simply because it will enable me to have better relationships with people, but rather because it will make me better, period. If you are a person who has anger and you are on a desert island and will never interact with another person, you should still be working on your anger. Not because of the way it affects your relationships with people or the way you hurt people with it, which is also important, but the main reason you want to work on it is because you need to transform to become a better version of yourself. Thinking about how we become better is great, but really at the core, why am I in this world? To make myself better. And becoming better means you have to have clarity about what is it not at its best. Not just focusing on what are the areas where I hurt people. It's important, but not the core. And therefore, begin that thought process. Really get to know yourself, because if not, you'll be going after the effect. I hurt that person, I don't like my boss, but the tikkun, the repair itself, is deeper than that. You have to be able to identify the flaw. If something is not working, then you need to fix it. One of the gifts of Angel Chasdiel is helping us look honestly at ourselves without falling into guilt, shame, or self-blame. Mercy does not mean ignoring what needs to change. Mercy means having the courage to see it clearly while believing that transformation is possible. Being emotionally intelligent with yourself is really knowing who you are. There is a force that tries to distract us from important things and keeps us focused on less important things. The teaching says that that force will let you work on everything in the world and invest a tremendous amount of time and effort, even in doing certain spiritual, one can call them betterment actions and processes, but they are not the most important ones for our transformation. And that's why whatever list you have made, you are going to realize that those are much more difficult for you to transform. It is the most important parts of ourselves that we need to correct, that we are going to find the most difficult to focus on. The way a person can begin the repair is by looking inside and realizing what are the parts within me that need to be transformed. The next step to do this, if we need a push to want to do this, is understanding that it is not simply that I want to repair myself because I want to become a better person or really accomplish what my soul came into this world to accomplish. It is also because whatever light and blessings I am meant to manifest in my life are always going to be limited by the parts of me that are not repaired. Meaning, each one of us has a tremendous amount of blessings that we are meant to experience in our lives and that we are meant to bring into this world. And the blockage to that is not anything external to me. The blockage is me. Which means if I'm not focused on a continuous basis, on really ascending, on really ascertaining what the parts of me that need to be transformed and doing the constant work to transform them, then that makes me limited in what I can receive and in the levels of blessings and goodness that I can bring into my own life and into the world. One of the great gifts of Angel Chasdiel is helping us understand that correction is not punishment. Correction is the path up to receiving more of the light, more blessings, more fulfillment that already exist for us. We all want blessings, achievements, manifestations, however you want to call it. What are blessings? Goodness. Some want money, some want relationships, some want children, but to the degree that we are not correcting ourselves and we are not going through our own process of tikkun, we is what we call in Kabbalistic terms the vessel or receiver of those blessings remain imperfect. For example, you have a cup and it has a hole. You can keep pouring endless amount of water into that cup, but as long as the hole is there, there is only a limit to how much water that vessel, that cup can hold. The best thing to do, rather than keeping pouring water into the cup and seeing that the water levels stays the same at the level where the hole in the cup is, would be to fix the hole. Then the cup can hold more and more and more. So the reason why we want to be focused on the areas of repairing ourselves is not only because that's actually what our soul came into this world to do. We came to become even more perfected, but also because not doing that work limits the amount of light and blessings that we can receive and the amount of manifested goodness that we can bring into our lives. We also want to understand that unless you are consistently doing that work, your cup remains with a hole. And therefore, the amount of blessings that you can receive will always be limited. It's a paradox because when we look at our mistakes, especially in the ways that we have hurt ourselves and others, of course you're going to feel sadness or pain. But staying in that space ultimately is counterproductive. One of the great gifts of Angel Chasdiel is reminding us that correction does not come through remaining in sadness. It comes through believing that we can begin again and continuing the work of transformation. So to connect to our perfected self, even when you make that list of things that you want to change about yourself, it's important at the same time to make a list of who you ultimately want to become. Really envision yourself. Same as an architect would have if he would build a home. We are a work in the making. Life is messy. We are going to fail and we are going to make mistakes, but hold on to the vision of who you want to become and know that it is possible. Because if not, what is really going to guide you? You could stay in that place of sadness and then there is no movement. Tikun is each one of our souls comes into this world with certain imperfections that need to be perfected. The question then would be, where do those imperfections originally come from? And the answer is both a beautiful teaching and inspiring. The understanding is that the entirety of humanity, every soul that ever existed, every soul that existed now, and every soul that will ever exist is really part of one whole. We are all one soul that has been broken down into billions and billions of sparks of soul. Each one of us is not the one total soul, but we are a part of it. If you understand your place in life in that way, which is that I am a part of that whole, that unified soul, then you begin to see things differently. Call it humanity. The totality of humanity has work to do. It has a job to do. Its job is to perfect our world, to elevate our world to a new place, to create a new world, a world where the pain and suffering that exist in our world no longer exist. So where do my imperfections come from? They are the part of the world that I need to correct. So if I come into this world with an inclination toward anger, it doesn't mean that I'm a bad person, that I'm an angry person, and that I have to change myself because something is wrong with me. One of the gifts of Angel Chasdiel is helping us separate our essence from our imperfections. We are not our flaws. We are souls entrusted with the work of transforming them. A more beautiful and profound way to view it is that this is my work for the world. The part of humanity that needs to be corrected, that my soul took upon itself, happens to be the part of anger. It's not that I'm a bad person and therefore I'm angry. Rather, I'm a beautiful and powerful soul that needs to help elevate the world, and my job in it happens to be the part of anger. The Kabbalists view humanity as one single body. Some of us come from the head. That is why there are people in the world throughout history who are the intellectuals. There are some souls that come from the hands, and therefore there are people in the world who come to this world to do or create physical things. Some souls come from the heart, and therefore their work in this world is to awaken love in some way, and so on and so forth. what one would call the ugly parts of me, the nasty parts of me, the bad parts of me, they're actually not the bad parts of me. They are the work that my soul took upon itself for the betterment of the world. You take the time to look within yourself and you say, well, I'm a jealous person. It's not that, oh, I'm a jealous person, therefore I'm bad. Rather, my correction is jealousy, because this is what I need to transform. I am saying I'm going to do this work for the world. If you take a piece of coal, it's nothing special. It comes out of the ground. But when you put it under tons and tons of pressure and polish it, what do you get? A diamond. That piece of coal has to go through many, many stages. But when you look at an unpolished diamond, you don't say, oh, this is an ugly thing. You say, no, this is a beautiful thing that somebody has to clean away, polish, and reveal in its perfection. One of the greatest gifts of Angel Chasdiel is helping us to see ourselves in that way, not as broken people, but as beautiful souls in the process of refinement. So the right view, once you've made that list, what are the things that are my Tikun? What are the things that are my correction? Is that they do not make me bad. They make me the person who has decided, for the sake of humanity, I'm going to correct my beautiful soul by transforming these parts. If a person has not done enough internal work and therefore those imperfections continue to manifest in relationships with other people, then sometimes we feel broken by it. I yelled at my son and I really, really feel bad about it. Maybe I even get to a state of feeling broken. There is a tremendous amount of power in that, of course, because being broken is actually not me being broken, it is my ego being broken. And when the ego is broken, there's more potential for my true light to be revealed. This is one of the reasons the month of Virgo, Elul, is so powerful. We are asked to look honestly at ourselves, but not to become discouraged. We are meant to use that awareness as a catalyst for growth, repair, and transformation. It is also recommended to make a list of the people that we've hurt, the interpersonal moments of relationships that are really either broken or where I have done certain things that were not right. I behaved in anger or jealousy. Just like refining the diamond, it needs work to reveal it. Who are the people toward whom you have behaved with unkindness or in ways that aren't really who you are? On that list will be people who treated you very badly. For example, somebody for no reason at all tries to damage you or does negative things toward you. And then in return, you lash out at them, you hurt them as well. In the logic of balance, you're not really at fault. They might be a terrible person. They might have done really bad things. Or they might simply not be such a good person and have done bad things. So the scale is different. The reason why I don't want to hurt somebody else or get angry at somebody else or be jealous towards somebody else or be hurtful toward somebody else is not because they do or do not deserve it, because they might deserve it, but because I want to perfect myself. So when you make that list of broken or damaged relationships where you believe or feel that you didn't behave as the best manifestation of your soul, it is important to have that list. And it's important to realize what are the parts of me that need to be even more perfected so that I do not behave in that way again. Another gift of Angel Chasdiel is helping us take responsibility for our actions without becoming trapped in blame, guilt, or shame. The goal is transformation. It doesn't necessarily mean that I need to go to every person on the list and say I'm sorry, because I might not be sorry. They might be a terrible person and have treated me terribly. Repair doesn't always mean going back to the person and repairing their relationship, although it often does and often should. But it is so important to always go back to the question, why am I doing this? I'm doing this for me. Yes, he or she may have done something really bad, but should I have yelled at them that way? Should I have publicly shamed them for what they did or that way? What happens very often is that people may treat us badly and then we react poorly to that, which is normal. We feel defensive. We feel like we need to be on guard to protect ourselves from further hurt. But then we don't act true to ourselves. When it gets to that place of repair, the actual going out and repairing, you will find that your ego really, really, really doesn't want you to do it. And that should excite you, actually. Because one of the things that block our blessings, the ego is one of the biggest ones. And when you're going through a process that your ego knows is going to make you better and bring you more light and blessings, it is really going to fight against it. And that should be part of the excitement of going out of your way and repairing. Saying, please forgive me, and mean it. So here are 6 steps for repair. Number 1, review your errors. Benjamin Franklin once said, the history of the errors of mankind, all things considered, is more valuable and interesting than all of the discoveries. Acknowledging our errors allows us to make adjustments and to have empathy for others who are making mistakes. The reason you want to say you're sorry if you did hurt somebody is not so much for them, although that is important if you want to have a relationship. It is more for you. It is also about feeling the pain that you may have caused somebody. Being wrong is a vital part of how we learn and change. Every time we make a mistake, we have a new opportunity to revise our understanding of ourselves and the world at large. That is the really important part of doing this review. We need to see ourselves as we are, the good, the bad, and the ugly, no matter how painful that assessment may be. Another gift of Angel Chasdiel is helping us review our mistakes without losing our sense of worthiness. We are meant to learn from our errors, not define ourselves by them. Number 2, practice empathy. Put yourself in another person's shoes and relive the experience through their eyes. It doesn't mean that they were right. If you really put yourself in their shoes, you may say, I understand that if I were them, maybe I would do the same thing. Sometimes we will say, I understand why they did it, I still wouldn't do it. When you do this process properly, you then remove the judgment. Number 3, be compassionate. Empathy leads to compassion, and compassion is empathy in action. You can have compassion for somebody that you judge. You might feel their pain, but to truly have compassion, you can't judge. Number 4, connect to your highest self. The soul is never damaged. It is only covered by our negative actions. Number 5, forgive, repair, repeat. Catherine Scholes explains, it's the wrongness, not the rightness, that can teach us who we are. The experience of being right is imperative for our survival, and it gratifies our ego. But in a culture that associates error with shame, stupidity, and ignorance, the idea of error seems like death. Basically, we are wrong about what it means to be wrong. We often expect people who have really wronged us to ask for forgiveness. Number 6, let it go. The final step is let it go completely. It may sound simple, but it is one of the hardest things to do. So to summarize, remind yourself that we were never meant to be perfect in the first place. We're not supposed to have it all, figure it out day by day. We're not supposed to never make a mistake or never hurt somebody. The key is that when you see those parts of yourself and you feel badly about them, don't just feel badly about them. Do something with them. Work on truly transforming them into something powerful in a soulful way, in a perfected way. Anger is a powerful energy, but you can transform that anger into a different force. We are all simply in the middle of a process. And the reason we should be doing the repair is for ourselves. It starts with really getting to know ourselves on a deep level. What is it that my soul came into this world to repair internally? Yes, it also manifests externally, but it begins with the internal. And the reason to be excited about that is because this is not something bad about me. This is the polishing of the diamond. This is the work that my soul took upon itself for the world. That is what I am repairing. And ultimately, if I want to have, in Kabbalistic terms, the vessel or the capacity to receive the greater and greater light and blessings that my soul came into this world to receive, I have to consistently go through this process of internal repair and yes, also external repair, which leads to greater and greater blessings. And now let's take a few moments to internalize this wisdom and consciously connect with the energy of Angel Chasdiel. Please sit very comfortable, uncross your arms and legs. You can look above eye vision and slowly close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and slowly let it go. Again, inhale deep and exhale all the way. Allow your body to soften. Bring to mind that part of yourself that you have judged the most. The part you've been trying to hide. The part you've been ashamed of. The mistake you keep replaying. The relationship you wish had gone differently. Words you wish you could take back. Now imagine looking at that part of yourself through the eyes of the Creator. Not with judgment, not with disappointment, but with infinite mercy. See yourself as that unpolished diamond. Is wrong with this diamond. It simply hasn't finished being revealed. Silently say to yourself, I am not my mistakes. I am not my anger. I am not my jealousy. I am not my fear. I am a soul in the middle of becoming. Invite Angel Chasdiel into your heart. Ask for the strength to forgive yourself. Ask for the courage to repair what can be repaired. Ask for the wisdom to release what no longer serves you. Feel the weight of shame beginning to dissolve. Feel hope replacing regret. Feel compassion replacing judgment. Know that this moment is a new beginning, a new seed, a new choice, a new future. And silently affirm, I choose growth over guilt. I choose repair over regret. I choose transformation over shame. I choose to become the person my soul came here to be. Take one more deep breath in, and as you exhale, imagine your heart becoming lighter, more open, more worthy, more connected to the Creator's endless love. Ready, gently open your eyes. If this teaching resonates with you and you feel called to go deeper, one of the most profound ways to do that is through our private one-to-one program, Master Your Destiny with Angels. Together we identify the unique Tikun your soul came into this world to transform, uncover the limiting patterns that keep repeating in your life, and learn how to consciously work with the angelic forces to create lasting inner change and manifest greater light, clarity, and blessings. Because true transformation isn't just about understanding the wisdom, it's about living it. And when you do, you begin to discover that the person you've been trying to become has been within you all along.